Hey,
Hey, hey, hey.
happy Friday.
It's Friday again.
Weeks seem to fly by. We just had
Don't they?
someone just put just a little saying. It's like the days are long, but the years are short. And the days seem long and the years seem short.
My
The
days
weeks
seem
seem pretty quick.
short. My days seem short and my years seem short.
I think it's all relative to how busy your day is.
I'm busy.
I
I
tend to
guess I'm
run out
real busy.
I tend to run out of time.
I can't even fit everything into my days. I have so much to do. Oh my gosh.
We got
Be busy, I guess, though.
yeah. We got fall has started. We decorated for Halloween, and it is freezing cold. It's like in the 40s every night. A sweatshirt on now.
It just rolls in here in Chicago. It's like one day it's 80, the next day it's fall.
Although I got to say, we've invested in during COVID we had those just those lights put on the house, just like the up and down sconce lights, and
Nice.
I'm sure I've said it to you before, but like that was the best investment we ever had because now that consists of our decorating for the most part. We put colored
Christmas
lights
lights.
in. Yeah, it's just so much easier, but it looks really cool. So yeah, we just put the orange lights in for Halloween, and yeah, it looks cool. Like the whole house is like kind of dark and orange.
Oh, that's cool. I need to come see
Oh,
that.
and I did, and my wife buys pumpkins for like the front. But here, I'll just hold them up if you can see them. Those are the three I grew in my garden. So
Oh wait, let me zoom in. Those are so cute. Yeah.
they're
Oh my God,
tiny, and
little
then
round.
like and then Shannon puts like a little like trio of pumpkins up. So I put mine on top of the little pumpkins. There's a little there's a little twofer. Sounds cute.
So
But yeah,
cute.
they're like this. They're like small softballs or whatever. They're real cute. They all came out really like perfect. They're really nice.
So Holly's house, she just like one day or one year. This isn't like recent. This is a few years ago. Just like a little white pumpkin sprouted up on her fence. It was like a vine, and she's like, "Oh my
Uh-huh.
God, I have white pumpkins." I was like, "That sounds so cute."
Yeah,
Little white pumpkins.
Shannon bought a white pumpkin one year. I wanted to carve like a white one. It was cute.
Yeah.
She did a cute design in it too. But yeah, they're cool looking. Just though with those white pumpkins.
Aw.
That's what
Yeah,
I thought that was going to be.
I feel like I'm still in summer mode. I have to snap out of it, even though it's cold outside. But like you guys came over last Saturday night, was it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we sat outside still. I mean, we all had sweatshirts on, but
It was still
it was
nice. Even
nice.
like
Yeah.
now, like last night, I mean, it gets cold. It's getting cold.
Yeah, now it's a little bit too cold.
So
But it's sunny. I like that. I don't mind the cold if it's sunny and not gloomy.
I think we're bringing in the porch furniture this weekend. It's always the beginning of the end of the season.
I know. That's what we're going to do. We're going to have to and
Yeah.
get everything wrapped up, pull out the fire pit.
Yeah. I got a bunch of logs. I had cut down that guy cut down a tree, and I was just driving by, and I just said, "Hey, you gonna use those?" And he's like, "Take whatever you want." So I literally loaded the whole tree into my car, and it's been sitting in my garage all summer, just kind of drying out. I don't know. I never had logs. Like I buy like wood at the store when I
Yeah.
need it. I also like if I cut branches off, my tree in the front is dying, so I've been slowly cutting branches off of it as they die, and then I just let those dry. But I never really
Oh,
had a log that like was a fresh cut tree. Like I don't know how long they need to dry. Like, I have no idea. So we'll see. I'm gonna start
by
burning them.
burning it.
I'm gonna start burning them
You'll
soon.
find out once you start burning it.
Yeah. So hopefully they'll catch. So, anywho.
Give it a whirl.
Mhm.
Yeah, that sounds so nice right about now. A nice fire. Ooh. You guys
And-
didn't use that fireplace for so long. Now you're using it.
Yeah. We did like, we took 2020 of like not going out and spending any money to like spend money around the house. And we finally after 19 years, we put a fireplace, like we like connected the fireplace. So yeah, and then we used it all year. And it's just like, why didn't we do this, years ago? But I mean, with the kid, it was originally because of the kids. We didn't want the kids getting in the fireplace and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. Shannon even said, like, I might turn the fireplace on tonight. I'm like, no.
Not yet.
Getting there. I mean, we literally just turned off the air. Like we haven't had
I know.
enjoy this middle ground. Like,
Frank said that yesterday. He's like, I think I'll turn the heat on. And it sounds so weird. It's like, what? We just had the air on.
just 91 degrees outside a week ago.
Very weird. What is it out there today? I haven't been out yet.
It's nice. Here it's probably in the low 70s, maybe. If I had to guess. I guess I didn't even look. I walked the dog, but
here it's 63 and sunny.
What time? What is it?
63 here.
Oh yes, yeah. It's only 64 here. Yeah, I guess feels a little warmer. I guess I got a sweatshirt.
I don't want to complain about the weather with the hurricane and everything. Wow.
No, I hear you.
I was just watching the damage on the news. Did some work, and it's much worse than I even thought.
Well, I mean, as they showed it, like they showed the state, and they show like the path of the hurricane, and literally at one point it's on both sides of the state, like the whole thing.
Yeah, I saw that. So our mom is in the southeast part, so she just said it was like storming yesterday a lot, and she said her back porch got a little, not porch, that patio got a little flooded. She said she was bringing things in, but where she is, they didn't get much, but just a rainy day. But wow, that storm.
Yeah,
it's in South Carolina, I think.
Yeah, Shan's mom said a couple of trees went down there in Georgia. They got those super tall trees. But yeah, I checked in with like Mark and CJ. I checked in with my buddy Sean. Yeah, just making sure everyone's okay.
How are Mark and CJ?
Good. He said they were fully stacked up. They bought a generator, and he's like, "We're good." I texted him then after, the night before I was talking to him, and then yesterday I just hit him up just to make sure like they were okay. But, yeah, it was good. Yeah. So, anywho,
hope everybody stays safe down there.
Yeah.
If that's where you are right now.
All right. Shall we get to the chow?
All right, let's get to the yumminess. I'm so hungry. I didn't even eat anything yet today.
You were just saying.
I was so busy. I never ever go to 1 o'clock without eating a morsel.
I don't think I've ever said that in my life.
I've been running around, and I'm like, I tried before the live, but I couldn't squeeze it in.
I make time.
My water. Well, look at that.
Would you look at that?
Looks like pepper steak.
So again, this was something that, I didn't love as a kid. And then, again, as I got older, this is one of those dishes that I just did not like as a kid. And then as I got older, I liked it. And then I would look forward to it when mom would make it.
I was trying to think, was this the dish where you used to give me all your peppers? Because I loved it.
That was the stuffed peppers, which is, in essence, this is almost like a deconstructed.
That's what we should have called it, deconstructed stuffed pepper. That's exactly what it is. Although, like, we didn't use the same sauce or anything. We made a new sauce. Yeah, we did it a little differently. But you're right. That's basically what it is.
But even growing up, it was like, what was it? Ground beef and rice inside.
Oh, right. This is
pepper, and this is steak strips, I guess.
I think we use tofu for our stuffed peppers. We use a crumble or two.
Yeah. No, we definitely do. No, I'm just saying, as we were growing up, I'm thinking, what was the difference? Well, steak versus ground beef, I guess.
Right.
A different sauce, obviously. There's more sauce here than the pepper steak, the stuffed peppers, but. Yeah.
I was always the one eating all the steak, so I'm sure I was really a big meat eater. I know I've said that before, especially in the podcast. I just loved meat. I loved the taste of meat. My dad, my mom used to tell this story. Like, my dad would be like, "God bless her," because I was on like my 7th piece of whatever it was. I think that was breaded steak, which was
7th piece.
So it's not that I don't like the taste of meat, and one thing I want to talk about, this happened to me recently. Somebody said the word fake, like, we made our cheese, and somebody was like, "Oh, that's the fake cheese." And it's kind of like, well, it's not really fake cheese. It's like a nut cheese. It's a different form of cheese. I know that we're all used to eating dairy cheese, but I kind of don't like that, because I'm comfortable with the fact that, yes, I want things to taste like meat, because I love the taste of meat. I love the texture of meat. I just don't like the meat part. I don't like the animal part. I don't like what it does to my health. I don't like all the stuff that I don't want about meat. That stuff means, like, that stuff matters more to me than the taste. personally. So I want to replicate that taste and that texture because it's what I ate for 40 years of my life, and it's super satisfying and super delicious. So if we can do that, why not? I don't feel like we're creating fake meat. Like when I hear that word, I think of processed foods. I think of, I'll have a Beyond Burger every once in a while. It's highly processed. It's full of oil, not healthy. It's better. It's like a better step than eating animal products, in my opinion. But it's nothing healthy. It's not doing anything really for you. I think it's better. But anyway, went down that. Yeah, but so the seitan works for me. It's like I love the taste of it, and we create the beef style seitan roast, and we call it that because that's basically what it is for us. It's like a beef roast, but better, So everybody knows kind of what we're trying to do here. We're creating that beef roast that my mom used to make that we loved. That she would slice into pepper steak. Now, I think for that one, she probably bought that flat. What was that flat?
Flank steak or something.
Flank steak. I think she used something like that. So yeah, we're trying to recreate that. And so what we do is we first make the beef style seitan roast, which is so easy to make. I said this last week, whatever we had last week, I think we made one. It's literally, yeah, I talked all about the Vital Wheat gluten last week, so I don't want to get into that again, but why we use it. And it's a little more processed than we typically use, but it's just gluten, and it really holds this roast together, makes it nice and stretchy, and we love it. So we make that first. It's you throw like 5 or 6 ingredients in a bowl and mix it, and you have a dough, and you steam it, and it out pops a roast. So it's really easy. Nothing to, because I usually get like intimidated by burgers and roasts, and I feel like, oh, it's so much work. It's really easy. And then you just leave it in your steamer for 45 minutes, and it's perfect every time. So you do that first. You can do that ahead of time. And then the other little method that works really nicely is you slice them up. So you take your roast, cut it into slices, and then take horizontal. Then you take those slices and cut them into strips. So you want them like kind of thin and nice and long, because it just, I don't know, that's what we always did. It works really nicely.
The way you're supposed to eat it.
That's the way you need to eat this. You don't want it too thick because you want that nice texture of like a strip steak, so that sort of texture. So if you cut them too thick, the seitan gets to be it's kind of soft, so we cut them, slice them thinly. And then what you do is you get your skillet, a nonstick skillet, really, really hot, like let it go on high for like 3 minutes. And then you just put your strips in it and leave them, don't touch them. I timed it out. I did it many, many times. Leave them for 1 minute, don't touch them. And then carefully flip them over like with tongs or a fork. I even use my fingers. I don't care. And I just flip them over really quickly and sear the other side for 1 minute. And then take them off, and they have such a great texture. They're so nice. It's like seared steak. So you make a little pile of those, and you just follow the recipe. You just all it is like green peppers, onions, and our sauce, and then put the strips in last. And they have just such a great texture and really nice with this. Has really great flavor. And once again, Phill did a good job with the flavor compound. He should have been a chef. I don't know why I'm always so surprised. He just nails it.
Yeah, that was a good recreation. And just like you're saying with the seitan, that roast, I mean, again, like last week we had the Philly cheesesteak. You use half of that. I knew we were going to be testing this out again kind of for the last run, and there's another half in there, and that's what we did.
Yeah.
We used what's in there. It freezes fine. You could just, you hear that? They're blending up. Hang on 1 second. I think my wife's making smoothies.
During our live?
Hang on.
That's okay. I can still hear you. Oh, there she goes. Oh, you turn this down.
Oh boy. Is that really
well, you
loud?
can hear it. We can't. Not that much.
But yeah, so I mean, it does work out well just to be able to do that. make a whole roast, and then you can quickly throw another meal together. Wait, hang on, she just stopped.
Yeah, I mean, we always say that. It's not like, I never think of this as like, oh, and you're gonna have leftovers. There's too much roast for this recipe. We always think of it as, and you have leftovers. And that's a really good thing because we spend a lot of time cooking each component. Why wouldn't you want leftovers? And then you experiment with different things. Like you said, you tried, well, I think you tried this one with you did the final touches on this one from your last one. But you also have a couple more that I see in our folders that you were testing out that I haven't.
Yeah, I'll do more sometimes as well. On top of that, like you're saying, like I know in the write-up, you're like, and hey, use the hot mustard, make sandwiches. That when I was doing this, I was getting this ready to do last week. My wife's like, "Hey, can we make sandwiches out of this before you start cooking, like for lunch?" But
Is that good?
And a lot of times we just don't have a lot. I mean, I usually try to have a couple of sandwiches, just whatever we're making, just to pull them out. But yeah, that is nice just to have on hand. It's like having lunch meat. Throw together quick sandwiches, throw together any kind of beef style meal that you're used to making. Steak sandwiches. Do different stuff. Hot mustard. Whatever it is. Throw it into pasta or whatever.
I had provolone cheese sauce in my fridge, and Frank said the same thing. He said, can we make sandwiches out of this? Or he's coming home from work. He's like, just make me a few sandwiches. And I had the hot mustard, and I was going to say like, oh, I really was saving the roast for some ideas that I wanted to test because I have a whole half of a roast. So my mind is always like, what can I try? What can I test?
Yeah.
And then I just made a little bite, like with that hot mustard I had in there. I just put some on the slice. I put some pickles on it. I rolled it up and I was like, that is killer. Okay, I'm making sandwiches. So it was hard, and we just ate the whole thing because it's just so good. So if you made the hot mustard sauce from last week, which I know Mary did, she loved the tofu nuggets. She said she made it last week with the hot mustard. That hot mustard sauce, just try that. If you don't have time to make this whole thing, try the hot mustard sauce because with this roast, oh, it's so good. I put pickles on it. Make it your own. You don't have to make the whole egg roll dish, which we're getting to next. So yeah, make the seitan roast ahead. If you're going to make your rice from scratch, make that ahead. You can use frozen rice. I use frozen rice all the time. I think it works great with any kind of sauce. It just works. But certainly rice. I think that's it. I think I'm done.
Potato skins. Who doesn't love potato skins?
Potato skins. Look at those.
Yeah,
okay,
these are potato skins.
Yeah, these are like next level potato skins because they're usually, what are they? I mean, I don't know. I remember potato skins from like TGI Fridays or something back in the day.
I think they're all kind of similar. I'm sure some places have them different, but I think it's just like cheddar cheese, bacon, sour cream, like loaded potato style, just the typical stuff. But yeah, I think they're just swimming in cheese and bacon.
Okay, so ours are really stuffed, and they're not swimming in cheese and bacon. They are really stuffed. We made a new chorizo crumble, and we just love our crumbles. So why not keep making different styles and flavors of the crumbles? Because for these, I wanted them kind of taco style flavors, like Mexican food flavors, but I didn't really want to use the crumbles. I thought, let's do something even spicier, more like a sausage, so that's why we just kind of punched up the spices in the crumble. So it's kind of that basic recipe. If you made them before, they're already delicious. But I added like fennel seeds, and I added some crushed bay leaves, and I pumped up the garlic, and that I put cayenne in there because I wanted them spicy. You don't have to, but they're just like a ramped up version of those. And then, so you make those first. Now for these, it seems like a lot of components for like a party dish. This is a meal. Like when I made these, we were eating them all week because think about what's in them. It's the tofu crumbles, it's veggies, it's like red pepper and corn, and the potato itself is like a meal. So I would say buy these things. These russet potatoes can be very large. So I would buy like smaller to medium size, depending on what you want. Like small to medium size makes, I think, did I say 12 potato skins? I don't have the recipe up. Yeah. So think about it. I ate 2 and I was stuffed, and that was a meal. So if you make that with a salad on the side, I mean, they are a meal. They're that
Yeah.
good. They're that satisfying. They're nutritious with all those components to them. But we made them as sort of like a party like snack.
And you could buy a big potato and have 4 for dinner. Not you,
Yeah, yeah.
whatever. Like, make them as a main as well. Like, I mean, because all that stuff. I mean, it's right. It's almost like a different type of taco served in a potato, almost. Like,
Exactly. It's
yeah.
all of our good stuff. And we make the smoked cheddar with these. So we make the smoked cheddar and we mix it after we make the veggies, saute the veggies, you mix in the crumbles, and then you mix in, again, we're only using half the crumbles. I just want to make this clear for our meal planners who are watching now. I have it all in the recipe, but it might be confusing because you're using a half cup of the cheese sauce after you make that and half the recipe of the crumbles. Because it's too many crumbles for this, because the crumbles makes a lot. But again, you're going to have extra crumbles in your fridge, which is awesome. And you just toss them on a pizza. You can put them in chili, and tacos. It's just really nice to have those. I will just put crumbles over frozen rice and put some salsa on it and eat them like that, like as a quick meal or a snack.
Or
So always nice to have
put it in the freezer and just wait till you need to make this again,
Yeah.
or when you have another recipe for the crumbles.
So think about it. With the potato already, we bake them. We're not microwaving them here. We're baking them. So they're already crisp. Like you can't see the bottoms, but they're already crisp and a little crispy on the outside. And then with that crumble, it's the chorizo crumble mixed with the smoked cheddar cheese and the corn, peppers, and red peppers. That's like the nice mixture. And then we put a dollop, you can't really see it, but we put a dollop of the cheese sauce after we rebake them. And then the topper is our jalapeno lime crema, and I know our meal planners love it. It is so good with these, and it makes enough. If you want to make a pretty party platter, that's hard to say, like I did, and you can drizzle them over and be creative and feel like an artist, and it's really pretty. I mean, look at that. But you really want leftovers, because if you're just, you want to eat these with a knife and fork. I mean, Frank was popping them into his mouth. It's a little bit messy. You could pick them up and eat them, but it's a little messy. But you want that crema to drizzle over like every bite. That's what I like doing. I like my own little bowl of it. It's just the best. I mean, it's the best. It's fresh cilantro, fresh jalapeno, fresh scallions, whizzed all up garlic. I mean, oh my gosh, what wouldn't that be good over? But it's especially good over these.
All right. And like I said, we're kind of continuing on with the football theme. Like if you're going to have parties or people over, like it's just another good snack food to serve. And again, if you have couples over or whatever, like, I don't know, it's just a fun, like punched up dish, it's like a good.
It's a fun dish because it's beautiful and it's fun. And it's also a great dish. I keep wanting everybody to inspire people to eat this way. So if you want to make a dish that is going to knock their socks off and they're going to say, wait a minute, what am I eating? This is tofu. This is cashew sauce. What? This is cheese. Like this isn't dairy cheese. This has it all. I mean, you really will blow them away with this. It's fun. Yeah, I would make bigger ones. Like you said, if you're going to have like
that's a touchdown.
A dinner party. Oh, wait, let me just check. Is there anything else I need to say about this one? Any little tricks or tips? Oh, the main one was that half of the crumbles and only a half a cup of the cheese sauce. And then you're going to dollop it on top. So you might have a little cheese sauce left. I like to serve these with both the cheese sauce and the crema on the table because people are going to want more cheese sauce. So don't be afraid of too much of anything. Yeah, I think that's it.
So here's just the crumbles.
Yeah, those, see, nice and chewy and crispy in places. Really yummy.
Egg rolls, man, I can go for these.
Oh my gosh. I love egg rolls so much.
And this was another thing, like, I think Dad was ahead of his game. Not that he was a big egg roll fan, but the hot mustard. Like, I was like the sweet, whatever that, what's the sauce that goes on egg rolls?
No, sweet and sour, is it? Or sweet
apricot.
chili?
Apricot. I think it's apricot. No? Oh. I don't know. Whatever that is. We all know what it is. It's the sweet goo that goes on these.
When you order egg rolls in a restaurant, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah. but as I grew up, yeah, the hot mustard was where it's at. Like I love hot mustard. So
I
yeah,
love
just
that
seeing
one.
this, like my mouth starts to water when I see like that hot mustard, the like that horseradishy hot mustard.
Here's a trick though, not a trick, but here's a method that's really interesting to me. When I was developing this recipe, I tried so many different versions. And like we say, Phil and I will look online because we don't know how to make it, so we'll get ideas of different things and then we'll kind of make our own version and we test it, retest it, and add a little of this, a little of that. Well, one version, which I think is the authentic way I read online, that they take mustard powder, just regular mustard
Yeah,
powder, use
yeah,
that as an ingredient and
and
add
vinegar.
water, and
Yeah,
that's it. And
yeah,
then
and
you
make a
just
paste, a little vinegar.
did you try that ever? And let
I
it sit?
well, I was in the, and it's funny just because Judi and I work independently about each other. I do research. She looks up stuff. She makes stuff. We kind of throw off each other. But I was literally like putting together that look. I was looking up, how do you make hot mustard?
Yeah,
And he's like, I just made it. I just
yeah, we did.
like, all right, cool.
I was like, hey, I had the same thought.
But yeah, I saw that. I saw, mustard powder and water. And some had like a little vinegar, whatever. There were, again,
So many
everyone's
different
different.
versions. A little of
But
this.
yeah, for the most part, just ground mustard.
Well, you know me, I had to try it. Okay, so
Yeah,
I
yeah.
tried it. Of course, I tried it. And yeah, I think that is a little bit closer to the hot mustard that we used to get because I think there was like no sweetness in that little packets of hot mustard. And that's
No.
the hot mustard when I would put it on my egg roll. It would like go right to my nose. It was like,
Yeah.
whoa. It just like opens your sinuses and it's like kind of hurts. You're just like, wow, that's a lot. And so that's the feeling I got when I made that and I like dipped my spoon in and I tried a little. I was like, whoa. I mean, it's really potent. I just didn't think it was right for our meal plan because we always are obviously going for everybody to be like, yummy, that's really good. And I could put it on sandwiches and I could, so I added, I don't know what's in the hot mustard. I know I added maple syrup and I made it multiple times. I added some, the first time I think I added too much. And then I tried rice vinegar and then I had a grated garlic and chopped garlic. So it takes a while. But this was my favorite. It was my final, and had a little bit of sweet, had a little bit of, I think, garlic. I don't remember. Made it a while ago. But whatever it is, it's really good. And you can use it on sandwiches, like we had said. But yeah, it's that water and a dry mustard was just too potent for me. But it was good to experiment with because I think that's what you get in restaurants.
Well, I got them. I bought mustard. I was ready to go, and now it's just been sitting on the shelf because I haven't used it for anything yet. But I will.
Oh, you mean you bought the mustard powder, or you bought the Dijon?
Well, I have mustard seed, and I have a small thing of mustard powder. So when I was doing it or whatever, I bought more mustard for that. And whatever people, I'm like, well, what kind of mustard powder do people buy? Is it like a specific for that?
I know that's what we go. Yeah.
Right. So I got Coleman's, like Coleman's mustard powder. And it was literally like, it was either right before it came or like right after is when I talked to you and you're like, oh, I already made that. And I'm like, all right, well, I just shelved it for now anyway, because it's exactly what I had in mind. It was just making that hot mustard.
It's really good. And just look at those egg rolls. I mean, look at how crispy they are. So first of all, I want to say that we're using vegan vegan egg roll wrappers. So those are larger size. So you can make like a nice size egg roll. The little ones that we used before for like pot stickers or something, those are like the wonton wrappers. Don't buy those. They're too small. Those are about like this. Yeah, these are more like this. So get the egg roll wrappers, and the vegan ones, there's no eggs in them. And so, like I said in the meal prep, it's a little more processed, just like sriracha, just like what else do we use? Certain things we use sometimes, like the Vital Wheat. Yeah. And they're a little more processed, but they don't have that many ingredients in them. There's no oil. And you know what? They work for this. Like, I think it would take us a very long time to make an egg roll wrapper.
I don't think I would do it. I don't think I would do it. I don't think I would take that challenge on. Who knows?
I don't know if I would take that challenge on because baking is tough for me. I told you I made a dessert a couple weeks ago multiple times. I can't get it right. we do make doughs. We make like the calzone dough. We make breads and stuff. Like we are dabbling in it, but it's a challenge for us. And I just don't want to take that on because first of all, are meal planners really going to do that? Are they going to make their own wonton wrappers? Or sorry, I keep saying that, not wonton egg roll wrappers, because you're already making other components. And it's like we try to keep the components to a minimum if we can. But I think our meal planners know that, we got to do some cooking, and they're really good sports about it. And they do. They knock it out of the park with the components. So if we can save a little time, and the egg roll wrappers have no oil, they're not really full. I'm looking for the ingredients right now. Here they are. So they're wheat flour. So they are wheat. It's not refined. It's riboflavin, which is vitamin B2, folic acid, water, salt, gluten, wheat gluten, vinegar, and cornstarch. Okay, I'm good with that. So yeah, somebody just said, I appreciate saving time. I don't know who it is because I can't see your name, but exactly. And if you're going to save time, it's not like I'm saying, oh, just use an oily, like refined flour. It's not that. I'm pretty good with the ingredients. So I think so. Nobody's spoken up about little things when we use them like here and there. But for me, I want egg rolls back in my life, and they work. So.
And there's just some things that are going to take time. You can't, there's going to be things that, hey, if you want this, you're going to have to put in a little time. Everything can't be a 3-minute meal or one pot.
Right.
Some of them are going to be multiple components.
It's Kim. Hi, Kim. Yay.
I think in the end, even now, even before we were testing meals, I would do the same thing. I wouldn't make a huge Sunday dinner on Wednesday night after work, start making gravy and bread and salad. No, of course not. But Sunday morning, I'm going to get up early and make that because I want a big meal to taste exactly how I want. And I will put in the time to do that. We try to help by cutting corners where, hey, if there's stuff you can make ahead of time, do that. Making double batch things. So you have, just like we were just talking about with the seitan roast, have that ready to go. That's one less step you have. The crumbles, I always make double recipes. And then if it's an awesome recipe, I can make it again next week and the crumbles are done. One step out of the way, So it's all those things like that just cut the corners. But some things you have to put a little bit of time into. Just like, again, rolling egg rolls, you're not going to knock it out of the park in 5 seconds. It takes a little more time getting them, assembling them, getting them ready to go, cooking them. So.
But it is really not hard, and it's easy. It's kind of fun to do, and you might not get the hang of it right away. Just like rolling a burrito, it just takes like 3 and then you've got it down, but I think stuff like this is fun. If I carve out time for it, there's people who don't like to cook who will think I'm never making my own egg rolls. That looks like a lot of work. And plus I have to make the sauce and the crumbles. Well, that's kind of what we have to do to eat egg rolls the way we want them to taste and have them oil free and, like lots of ingredients, processed foods free. These are so good and you can eat them knowing that these are good for you. You're doing your body some good. They're not deep fried. There's not ground pork in them. Speaking of that, we made another crumble and we're calling it our pork style crumbles because we didn't want them tasting like tacos. Beef, okay, but pork is really what they put in egg rolls. I didn't even know if we had pork in our egg rolls growing up. Was there any meat in those?
I remember occasionally you'd see like a tiny shrimp or something like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think there was probably pork, like bits of pork, like small and like not big chunks, but
ground pork. Yeah. So I considered putting nothing in these, but I thought, well, why not put the crumbles in because that will just punch up the flavor. And what kind of crumbles do I want? So this is our process. So I thought, well, we had the pork sausages, the breakfast sausages that we made. So I went and looked at that recipe. Oh, what did we use for those spices? Which I already did all this research on having something taste like the breakfast sausage that I happen to really, really love. And ours is like spot on if you haven't made that one. So I looked at all those and there was like sage and there was bay leaves and, just a couple of different spices that turn the crumbles into that, and so we just came up with the new pork style crumble. So they're tasty. And then another thing I love the cabbage in the egg rolls. There's just something about the middle of an egg roll that tastes so good. It's like, what is it? So we researched all the different things. Well, I think it's the Chinese five spice powder. It sounds like a fancy ingredient if you've never used it. We've used it in our cookies. We've used it in other Asian dishes that we have. Just buy a bottle of this stuff and we will keep bringing it on because it's really good. And it's just that certain something, you taste it. I think I only use like 1/8 of a teaspoon in the filling mixture, but it's like, that's the flavor I wanted, you know? And so you can buy it anywhere. Sometimes it's called 5-spice powder or Chinese 5-spice, but you can get it like at Whole Foods, at Target, at Walmart, at probably any grocery store in the spice section. Just look for it. It's easy. You don't have to go anywhere.
You can make our Chinese 5-spice cookies, which are awesome too.
Yes, we have them in the plan. Make those. Those are so good.
Man, I love those things. Those are great.
I think Kim may have made those.
What's nice is like sometimes we'll just be sitting around and be like, you know, I got a hankering for something sweet. It's like, man, in 20 minutes I can get those cookies made. It's like I got everything.
While my crumbles are baking, I'll whip up some cookies. Yeah. So anyway, it's a really simple. She wrote the cookies are amazing with the spice. She did.
I love them.
They are so good. So yeah, make the cookies. That's a really good suggestion. I should have put that in the notes. Maybe I'll go back and do that. Because, you know, these are going to be new to some of our newer meal planners. They might not know about this spice or where to get it. It's super easy. It's really good. And it's just a blend of a bunch of different spices. It's a spice blend. And it's really yummy. Anyway. What?
It's 5 to be exact.
A bunch.
A bunch of spices.
It's just 5 spices blended together. Oh, did I list more? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I did list 5. Oh, good. I had to research what it actually was.
It's a Chinese 5-spice blend, more or less.
More or less. 5, more or less. I thought I added. Oh yeah, I did. So I wrote in the meal prep, after experimenting with different ways, I sauteed the veggies. I did a bunch of different things because my natural instinct was to saute them. Well, they kind of saute down to nothing. So I saw this other method of like quickly blanching them, the veggies I'm talking about. So it's really nice. You get like a pile of your thinly sliced green cabbage, the carrot, which I shredded on a box grater, which is really nice. And then celery, which sounds weird. I tried it with celery, without celery. Celery does add something. I'm not a big celery fan. Like if I make, you know, whatever I'm making, I don't like big chunks of celery, but it's really good in certain recipes, you know, like soups and stuff. So in this, it's really good. So you make your pile of veggies, get your water boiling, and then just toss them in for 2 minutes. That's it. You don't want to overdo it. You just want, and it really brings out the color and they stay a little bit crunchy. So 2 minutes and have like an ice bath ready. Drain them, throw them in the ice bath, and then leave them. And then the other key thing, what you want to do is get all the water out of them because you're going to bake them. And you don't want your egg roll wrappers to get soggy. I got this stuck in my head. So put them in a clean dish towel and wring them over the sink and all that water comes out. And then they're nice and dry. Throw them in a mixing bowl, mix them with the 5-spice powder and whatever else we put in them. And then make your egg rolls. And they're super easy. You just have a little bowl of water next to you. Put your egg roll in front of you. And then, you know, dip your finger in and go around the edges. Super easy. Put a scoop. I think it's a 1/4 cup. It's just the right measurement for the wrapper. And then roll them in. Roll away from you, like roll over the filling, roll the edges in, and then roll them up. And then put them on your parchment paper lined baking sheet, seam side down, just so this, you know, so it sears and it stays in. And that's it. It's like 1, 2, 3. Just roll them up, bake them. As they're baking, you could whip up your mustard sauce, which is just like 7 ingredients in the blender. And they're ready. And look at how nice and crispy they get. I mean, literally, you can hear this crunch when you bite into them. No oil necessary, no deep frying, none of the oil. You taste all those flavors inside. We put a little bit of tahini in because typically there's sesame oil inside, I think, which that does sound good. But what is tahini made out of? Sesame paste, so sesame seeds. So I drizzled a little bit in there, and it just gives it a little oiliness, and it's just nice. So, and we toss in the green onions after. You don't blanch the green onions. You toss that in after you make, put all your veggies and sauce together, and your crumbles. Throw your crumbles in. I think for this I used all the crumbles. I can't remember. It's not stuck. It's not in the meal prep to take half the crumbles out. Yeah, you mix all the crumbles in for this one because you kind of have a lot. And how many egg rolls does it make? 12?
12?
Yeah.
12.
It's just this, the measurement works out perfectly. So that's all. Delicious. I want some for the game.
Yeah.
Those are good. I can't wait for you to make these. I want to hear about it. So please let us see your photos and your feelings about these. Good and bad. Anything pops up you want us to know, let us know, and we'll improve on them. But I think you're going to like them.
And there's just the sausage or the pork crumbles there, pork style crumbles.
Yeah.
So 2 new components again, like with the crumbles. I can't, I always keep kind of stressing just to, I mean, people have their own dishes that make, and sometimes again, you're trying things, and sometimes things don't work. You don't realize, like with crumbles, you realize quickly, like you can't have them sitting in like really liquidy things for a long time, or if you do, again, things get, mushy or, soggy or whatever. But in the end, like, this is what we do. So now that, like, as soon as I hear, like, Jude's like, oh, we have the chorizo crumbles, it's like, okay, chorizo scramble, chorizo burrito, chorizo and eggs, whatever that is. It's like the wheels are spinning with the chorizo now. What are some popular chorizo-based dishes? Then we'll start looking through those to see. Pork sausage. Like the other day, I was just looking at, I had the seitan roast, and it was like, I was just doing searches for like, meals with steak, just to see what pops up and just to kind of see. But that's that's kind of the process. But people have all their own meals that they loved to make that they don't make anymore.
Right.
And we were in the same boat. Now, pepper steak.
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time I had pepper steak? 5, 6, 7 years ago? Like, it's been a long time.
So I still remember the first time Julie, our recipe developer, when she suggested I make her, what was it? I think the chicken style seitan was the first one I made. And she said, oh, we can make a seitan roast and we can do all these things with it. And I was like, oh my gosh, what is that? What am I doing? Right. And I am always like that. It's just part of my personality. I don't like reading manuals. I don't want to put a fan together. I don't want to program the TV. I don't like that stuff. So I am very resistant to new things. So I need to push myself. I had to push myself towards that seitan roast. And I did it. And it was like, what? You mean it takes me 3 minutes to make it and I don't have to babysit it? And then it opens up a whole new window of possibilities. And it's like, what other? She's like, well, we could do a pastrami. That's actually one of my favorites, the pastrami seitan.
We were just talking about that. Yeah.
All the pastrami flavors that you love about pastrami in that. It's so good. And then we make our Thousand Island dressing, whatever else. Oh, the cabbage, the sauerkraut. Oh my gosh, I'm really craving that right now. That is so good.
Oh, it's food talk. Can you tell she hasn't eaten today?
I haven't eaten all day. I'm starving. What am I going to make first? So exciting.
Fridge full of leftovers, I'm sure.
Yep, that's true.
All righty. Well, you got any big plans for the weekend? You guys doing anything exciting?
Oh yeah, it's Star's homecoming. Emma McCartney's homecoming this weekend.
Fun.
So we're going to a homecoming game tonight, the big football game. And he's in what is he doing? Stevie D said he's in a new position, but I don't know what it is. Doesn't matter, but it's exciting. Yeah, and then, Kim just said the pastrami is so good. Oh, I didn't even know you made it, Kim. Yay. If you have not made the Reuben and it is some work, make it with the Thousand Island and the sauerkraut. And there's one more sauce. Oh, there's a cheese sauce on that one. Could be the provolone. No, does that sound right? Maybe. It is so killer. And you make it a panini in the pan. So good. Try that. So anyway, we're going to that. And then tomorrow is homecoming. So we're going to go pictures wherever it is. Yeah. But the farmer's market. Oh, I was going to send you Henry. I don't know if you're tomatoed out. We didn't even talk about that. But if anybody saw, Phil did a lot of jarring.
Holy cow.
He said he's got more Romas, the last of the Romas. Oh, it's up there. What am I doing? Tomorrow.
Nice.
You're like,
Yeah.
no thanks, I'm done.
I made it out. That was a project. That was an undertaking.
That.
That's right. It's done. You know, two
Yeah.
people would have been good. You know, like just a process. It's like setting up the stations and get, you know, it's like boil the tomatoes, peel the tomatoes, dice the tomatoes, jar the tomatoes, you know.
You needed your little helper, Amelia. She's at school.
Yeah, right. But yeah, I'm good on the tomatoes for now. I'm gonna get you guys your tomatoes.
Well,
salsa.
what did he say? We also had, I'm getting in my basket tomorrow in our CSA. He says, gorgeous lettuces, always. He has a wall of lettuce. I think I'll film that tomorrow. Radishes, peppers, dill, cilantro, fennel, Romas, beefsteak, tomatoes. I don't have the right one up here. There's some good things in our basket tomorrow. Oh, spaghetti squash. That's what we're getting tomorrow.
Mm.
Yeah.
Good.
We'll do that. I don't know. Maybe go to some estate sales. We don't really have any plans for tomorrow night. What about you guys?
Buddy of mine, well, a new buddy of mine's coming over tonight just to play some music. I tell you about that
Yeah,
guy?
he's a little older than us. Yeah.
Yeah. So he came over a couple of weeks ago and we jammed, and then well, last weekend we had plans, and then I just texted him this week, so he's going to come by tonight, play some music. And then, yeah, the rest of the weekend, other than like football, yeah, we don't have any plans tomorrow. So we'll figure it out. Shan's off this week. She had use them or lose them vacation days. So she was off Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday. So she got some days off there. So probably get some stuff done around the house. We'll probably, like I was saying, we'll probably put that furniture away, tomorrow for the
Yeah,
deck.
that's what we have to do.
Clean out the garage. Blah, blah, blah.
Glad we used it. We actually sat on my back porch and our front porch furniture last Saturday, so that was fun.
Yeah, get both double use.
We had to get our use out of it before we put them away for the season.
No, it's always sad. All righty, well, everybody, thanks for watching. Hope everyone has a good week.
Have a good weekend, Kim. She's the only one I see here, but there must be more. They'll watch the replay.
All right, everybody, have a good weekend.
Okay. Happy